So they had this conference and they gave a lot of information that 145 top secret facilities, 752 whistleblowers and counting, some are deceased, 121, and as of that conference, 122 crash retrievals. And they have government documentation from like Deep Throat, and that's a thing that's real. It's always been real, but it just sounds funny. And they won't disclose whoever, not a lot of people are willing to come forward, because once they come forward, they take everything from them. They take their business, their fortune, like all their money, and they leave them like dust in the wind.
Ridiculed.
Well, not
like
just
Randy Quaid.
Well, not just ridiculed. They take everything.
Yeah.
Anything that's material. You own a house, it's theirs.
Yeah.
You got millions, it's gone.
What is it? Government forfeitures.
Yeah. And people have been threatened, and people have been bribed, and some of these people have not given in to these briberies or any of this. And there's a group of people, according to Dr. Greer and others, that they're doing deep, black, shadowy
compartmentalized
stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
And that, excuse me, even the person in the government that takes care of the black funding doesn't even know what's going on. Now, what kind of shit is that?
It's above their pay grade.
No, it's not. It's not even above their pay grade.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's on a need to know, and they're not in the need to know, and they're already black ops.
Dr. Greer he threw a warning out there, basically saying, you guys got to do something. It needs to happen. Something needs to happen. And you only have a year. When did that clock? There's a clock too. They talked about a clock, and where does that clock begin and end? And where are we in that clock right now? It was just a lot of information.
You know, that part where he talks about the clock is ticking, basically. I was like, well, okay, what happens when the clock strikes zero? You know what I mean? He's in the beginning of this video, you know, he I don't want to say monologue, but that's kind of what he does. He gives a monologue.
Yeah.
And he discusses these things, and he says these things, discusses these things. He's got like presentation slides, where it's like bullet point references for all these different things that he's talking about.
I did a couple pages of that.
And
go ahead. Sorry.
I just thought it was like, when he said that, I was like, what happens when the clock strikes zero?
Yeah.
What happened? What's next?
A year from now, but when a year from now? Like the date that you did this, or before that, or
January 1st,
after that? July 1st. I'm curious to know this clock and what's going to happen when the clock runs out.
Yeah.
They talked about a lot of stuff. I want to say too, for me, the most interesting was the fact that these people are running this backdoor shadowy whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they are creating man-made UFOs because they're still unidentified. They're flying and they're objects.
You stuttered that out.
Well, yeah.
But I get what you're saying. And like, it's kind of, like I said, it's all very, it's a lot of information to take in and a lot of information to dissect just on his speech alone.
Wait, hold on. So the man-made UAPs or UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I found interesting was that these aliens, extraterrestrials, that they're not hostile, that they're actually friendly, and their concern is us. They're concerned for us.
And see,
this is what I was saying before, that we're over here. Oh my God, that zoo? We capture them and we do shit to them. Oh, and then there's the man-made ones. They are robots. They're robots. So what you're seeing out there, and these things that are abducting people, it's not. It may just be our government.
Yeah.
And this is our money, our tax dollars that are being spent on this,
Well,
going through corporations or whatever. What is it? Money laundering. Are you kidding me?
well, somebody's got to pay for that $1 million hammer.
Man, come on. It's just crazy at this point. So yeah, the person in charge of the black budget was being shown around Lockheed underground facility or whatever, and they were showing him old airplanes, old jet fighters or whatever, and they weren't showing him the real deal. So
The new
he went to
hotness.
Dr. Greer and was like, what's up with this? Like, have you heard about this? And he's like, yeah, I got the information that you need. I'm gonna let you know what they're doing.
He's like an information drug dealer on UFOs.
Yeah, he's deep
He's the plug.
into this. And I applaud him. I applaud him and everyone that is willing to sacrifice their lives to get this information out. Unfortunately, the powers that be will not allow that to happen. And I fear for these people, especially for Dr. Greer, because he's front and center. And I appreciate what he's doing for sure.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing that he's doing, because not many people, it's the percentage I feel is still small, but I don't know, that of people that believe in this kind of thing, and we're crazy for believing in it. But I just can't believe that we are the only beings that exist in this universe. The universe cannot revolve around us.
Yeah, it's pretty arrogant to think that way.
Yeah.
What I do want to see is this 1 terabyte of data that he has that he's put on hard drives. I'll take the press version with the redactions. I don't need to know people's names.
Right.
I just want to see this data. He mentioned about putting it like on some kind of database web version, something. And he's mentioned about the press being able to get it. I want to see it. I want to see this terabyte. I'll send him a hard drive. Just copy it on there.
It was a very interesting 3 hours.
I didn't get through all 3 hours.
They had people go on there and tell their experience, what happened to them, and some had illustrated images that they had interesting stories. The one that really got to me was one gentleman. He said excuse me, he said that he is from Fort Bragg, and that he and his father were very tight, and when he was young, his dad was doing like contracting, that kind of thing, and he met people up there because they're from the South. He met people up there that were in the military. They would go fishing and hunting and stuff, and he thought they were friends. And then he joined the military, and these same people ended up taking them to some bunker or somewhere to see things. And they saw these monoliths that were floating, and excuse me, and they got to see some interesting things, and then they were told to sign an NDA. Mind you, some of these NDAs are like 80-year NDA, which is also crazy to me. That I never thought that's a thing.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. And so they declined to sign them. And what happened next was he went to do his training, I guess. I don't remember exactly. But he ended up getting hurt. They told him he wasn't fit to be in the military anymore. And one of the guys that he grew up knowing was the reason that happened to him, that he got hurt. And then when he tried to reach out to his dad didn't want to talk to him because his dad lost everything. His dad was a millionaire, and he lost all of it. They took all of it from him. Everything he's ever worked for or worked on, it's gone.
Yeah.
And it was because he wouldn't sign the NDA, and it destroyed his dad. It destroyed his dad, and it just, destroyed the relationship that they had. They were always together. That was his best friend. It was very sad. But
Did you say why he didn't sign the NDA?
And I don't recall. I don't recall him saying why. I think he thought it was just, who are they going to tell type of thing. But I just thought it was a very sad story, but that's not the only. They've destroyed people's families. They've destroyed people. their lives, and they don't even care because there's a bigger picture, there's a bigger agenda that they have. And it was very revealing what he said, what they all said. One of them basically was saying that he was in, I keep saying Vietnam, the Philippines.
Yeah, that was the second speaker.
Yeah.
Where he talked about he was put onto this, I think, recovery operation to, and it took place in the Philippines, and because some natural disaster kind of happened and they got deployed over there, and what he ended up encountering in the jungle on his way to do this whole mission was pretty wild. Just
Yeah.
what he saw, and then the whole experience of what happened as as his whole little outfit has been spotted.
Yeah.
And he's saying like, no, these weren't like Philippine guerrillas, the militiamen type military. This was us.
They were American.
This
That's
was
what he
us, but they were blacked out stealth, all high tech new gear, stuff that I know about, but we can't get because it's just not cost efficient for the regular military. So they got this super deep black ops, highly advanced, technologically equipped outfit with a spaceship behind them. Just chilling like, yeah, we just out here chilling in the jungle.
No, they were doing their reconnaissance, and
they were doing their thing, but that's what I'm saying. They were just
interrupted
chilling.
it and got caught, and they didn't know what to do with them. They talked about smoking them.
Yeah.
Should we smoke them? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But let them go, and then they took off in their little fucking spaceship that we paid for. That we fucking paid for. They were American.
Windows.
They were American. So
but that's what I'm saying.
That's the only reason I say that it must be our tax dollars.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they were, whatever they were doing in their mission. Of course, he's not privy to know what they're doing, but in their little operation. But they roll up on them. They're just chilling, doing their thing, and they're like, "Oh, you're not supposed to see this. We're deep in the jungle. What
yeah.
We'll just kill you guys, and your mission was a failure. You guys died, and somebody happened."
How many times has that happened?
Yeah.